Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys. If you see me for the very first time, I make cakes over here, and I make simple, informative tutorials bringing you along the baking and decorating processes so that you are empowered, inspired, and encouraged to undertake your own baking at home. Today we are not baking. If you see me sitting on a chair, I am not baking. We're more like catching up because my week that just passed saw me make a mammoth three-tiered cake, the details of which are littered all around the channel. You can catch some on the community post, like the live behind the scenes photos of that, and then the cake itself, much of it were created on the live here. So there was a three-tier hexagon cake. We baked some of the cakes here. We trimmed the cake and created the shapes of the hexagons right here, crumb coated, covered, and even tiered some of the cake. And then I brought you along the live part, like part of the live setup of the cake. That cake was really intense. It drained me. I am exhausted. So all of this went down Saturday evening when the cake was finally set up. And after a week of 4 a.m. wake ups, I am just trying to catch my breath. I also felt like the lives last week, because I was incredibly busy on the live, I was stressed. Dawn is back. Michelle is here. Dawn, I'll acknowledge you guys in a minute. Because when I am having such an intense tutorial, it is not so much a tutorial as in breaking down things for you. It is more like inviting you into my workspace so that you can witness what is really happening in real time. And that includes the techniques I employ to create the cake, and also the state of mind and real time issues that develops and how I feel about it, because it's all like part of the cake decorating process. A perfect cake doesn't happen. I mean, if you go back and see the photo of the cake that I made, by all standard, it's amazing. And those are not my words. Those are a repetition of the compliments that have been paid to the cake, including the customer who ordered the cake. She texted me. She's like, "Thank you for the incredible masterpiece you created." I will post that comment somewhere up here. Look, I can take a compliment, but I don't live in this space where I think like my work is like the standard. There's always room for improvement. So as much as the cake was outstanding, amazing, and a masterpiece, it's off to the next one, okay? Off to the next one. But I will not be undertaking a masterpiece anytime soon. Well, there will be some Christmas masterpieces in terms of carved cakes and Christmas themed cakes, but those will be complete tutorials. I will be making them with the intention of teaching you techniques and processes instead of bringing you along my own stressful journey. So because the week had been so all-consuming, I wasn't very interactive in the chats at all. I went back to look at least, I think last week we had about 8 live sessions just with last week, from Monday, running from Tuesday through to the Saturday. There were 8 live sessions. And in the 8 live sessions, I think I've looked back at 5, and much of them, you guys were completely understanding of the process, and you were kind of talking to each other in the group. So I didn't feel like I missed out a lot at all. But after such an intense session of not being engaged in the chat, I took the day off to rest up yesterday, because Sunday was still a busy day for me because I'm still a mom. Even though I make cakes and I work from home largely, I still have like mom duties. I have an 80-year-old son to take care of. So I had just about a lie in on Sunday, waking up a bit just before 9 a.m. because I went to bed really early on Saturday after all the cake shenanigans. And then Sunday was like, and one thing I probably you'd probably not notice, when I am that busy, it means every other task in my house is like, because I'm the maker of my own home, you know, I'm my own homemaker. So the upkeep of the house is my responsibility. But when my time is consumed by cakes, nothing gets done. So Saturday was the day to kind of catch up with all of those things. That was Sunday, I mean. So Sunday was the day to catch up on all those things. So yesterday, after my son went to school, I was like, I just want to have the day to rest. But even so, it was barely a rest day because I had admin to catch up, emails and grown-up stuff to do. And by the time the day was over, here we are today. So if you're wondering what we're doing, I'm not baking. I'm not baking. We will come. I don't think I'll... Look, the baking will happen, but after such an intense session, I am not pulling myself up to bake anything. Oh, actually, we will be baking because there's a random cake due for Saturday. It's a small cake, not to worry. So that's, I'm back today just to catch up with you guys, just so that I can sit and interact with you, more like cake therapy. There's nothing serious here. If you have anything serious to share with us, you're welcome. I even decided, like, peeling my eyelashes, the false eyelashes, by the way. if you go back to the previous videos, you'll find that I wear false lashes and I talk about them. So today I'm like, I'm not putting on false lashes. I just want to relax. So this is relax mode, zen mode. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, good morning, wherever you're joining me. Oh God, that was quite an introduction. Very long-winded for that matter, people. How are you, everybody? There is Dawn, Thapitha, Michelle. How are you, everybody? Is Lollipop here? Yeah. So Lollipop, Dawn, how are you, my lovelies? I hope Tuesday is treating you well. The cake kind of ended up overwhelming me. I missed out on even the small details of Thanksgiving, especially for Thapitha. I would have been interested to hear what you were doing for Thanksgiving, but I know you did a whole. I looked back at the chat and boy, did you not come home with the ham and all the roast stuff. I hope you had a great time though, but I saw also that the shopping pre-Thanksgiving was driving you crazy. That is me 3 days before Christmas. When you go shopping and everywhere feels like the heavens have opened. And you're like, who are these people? Where have they been? Okay? It is crazy. Except I am not doing any Christmas. I've told you, we've had that conversation. Like, we're not doing the commercial Christmas thing. That won't be me. Okay? Count me out of that. I'm still looking forward to my takeaway for Christmas Day. And I just want to wake up on a quiet day. I think the only thing that makes Christmas a thing is because I have an 80-year-old who is excited to wake up Christmas morning and open his presents and be excited. But otherwise, Christmas is a regular day for me. And I'm just like happy to be home and well. And that is just it. So, yep, if you're just joining us, we're a baking channel. I might seem like I'm just sat here talking away, but we do bake, but not today. Can you see that I look like I want to go to sleep? No, not necessarily, but Dawn, darling, how are you, my lovely? I hope everything is going well for you, and today is a better day. Thapitha, what are you doing now that you finished, what do you call it, Thanksgiving? Are you all ready for Christmas? I am looking for something. Yep. There you go. Ajovi is back. Ajovi, how are you? Look, this is how much I love tea. I have got the PG thingy. What is it called? If you've never been here, I love tea, except look, Tetley's are not sponsoring this, okay? I just love Tetley's tea. But Tetley's competitor is PG Tips. So somebody bought me actually that's a red nose day. Somebody actually who knew I love tea had a PG Tips pack, and it came with this, so they gave me that. Not for me though, they gave it to me to pass on to my son, but my son doesn't care for it, so I'm like, I've taken it back, and that's where we are. Oh, Dawn has the flu. Oh my God, can a sister just catch a break? By the way, it's still the flu season. I hope you haven't had it bad though, because the flu may seem like just a passing flu, but can sometimes cause you some difficult health issues. So above all else, we hope it's a passing flu and it will go away so quickly and you will be up and grinding very soon. Lollipop says, I need to replace my PG. Oh, Lollipop, you've got a PG chip. PG chips. Look, you've got a monkey, a PG tips monkey. Oh dear. Look, I love my PG tips monkey. Let's see. Anyway, I was also, when I went back to the chats, let's see if it will fall. Let's see. Will he sit there? Okay. That's so random. Anyway, when I went back to the live chats, I saw a few questions. Nothing intense. Okay. That is like, where is the cup of tea? This doesn't feel like a proper cake catch-up. It's because I didn't get the cup before I sat down, and now I feel too lazy to be bothered by it. Okay, let's put the kettle on. The tea is here. You see how when I tell you my kitchen is small, just sitting here, I can get to the fridge, get some milk. I don't do sugar, but there's honey here. And where is the cup? Oh, I think the cup is on my work desk. I'm not going to the lounge. I'll get a different cup. Let's see. I'm not trying to get up. Right, got it. See? That's how small. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a cup my sister actually got for me when she went to Malta. But it's a small cup. I love like a big cup of tea. And this is nice, but it's not really deep on the inside. Hi, Brianna. Hi, Brianna. That's Nikki. What am I making? Ajovi. Ajovi, I'm not baking today. You know what? For Christmas, I have, I don't want to over promise and under deliver, because even though I am here all the time and I make promises, look, I did promise we were going to do the bake along, and then everything got overwhelming because the lives, as much as I want them to be consistent, they are also a reflection of what I do on a daily basis. So if you don't see me here, life is happening, then I'm not here. And if you see me here and say, I told you yesterday, today we are going to bake a cake, and then suddenly I wake up and I have a cake order that I want to bring you along, it changes. So I am a little bit in my head about being a disappointment or not following through with my word. Because right now, right, to my left here, I have apples. And I remember buying those apples because I wanted to make for the season. Remember, if you go back to the end of October, starting November, when I was obsessed with pumpkin spice, I wanted to make some sticky apple and pumpkin spice cake. And it was a recipe I was looking forward to for the season. And the apples are still sat there. And unfortunately, they were ripe apples, so they've gone soft. I can still use them since they are for baking. It doesn't matter, because it's not like I want them to be tart or like crispy or anything. But they're literally sat here. I shopped for some items specifically for Christmas. And I did the same last year. I think that is also because I am not a trend-obsessed baker. I bake what I have to bake. I don't sit there and plan the season for the views. Do you know what I mean? So for instance, last year, I had to make the lives and then create specific tutorials. But even so, the specific tutorial centered around like seasons recipes, like popular recipes like your sticky toffee puddings and other things. And by the time you come to watching the video, Christmas is nearly over. For instance, the sticky toffee pudding was filmed for Christmas Day last year. And so by the time I edited the video, like, time had gone. All I could do was then bring you along some of my Christmas vlogs, which you did see. But at the moment, I don't create the vlogs. We are centered on just the lives and the baking. So I say all that to say, if you ask me what are we doing for Christmas, I'm a little bit reluctant because I really don't know. What I do know though is that I will be here, and I'm hoping, for instance, say tomorrow, if I came back tomorrow, we'll bake because I have a cake going out on the weekend. But I want, like, week one for us to kind of focus on some Christmas themes, like say a Grinch type of cake, and then next week, and this is going to be like a carved cake anyway, nothing special, like a beginner friendly type of Grinch, like the Grinch head or something like that. And then next week we'll focus on, say, Father Christmas or something. And then the week before Christmas, I will come and try and make some turkey. These are all ideas. The turkey is like from cake. I have made this in the past. One of my very first YouTube videos is a hyper realistic turkey cake that I made. I mean, my skills and techniques have changed over time. So I want to be able to come back and do that, you know, but it's neither here nor there, because whatever I said I want us to do, if morning comes and my plans change and like everything falls on the wayside, then you don't see me, and then that becomes an issue by itself. So whatever you're doing, grab a drink, sit down, and let's catch up about Christmas, your plans for Christmas. It's the last month of the year. So let's talk about, look, it's just you and I over here, okay? So, I mean, this is kitchen talk. I bake in my kitchen. If you came to my home in my kitchen, I cannot tell you the number of conversations I've had in this kitchen with my sisters or friends standing around, and we talk about stuff. So just consider this kitchen talk, cake therapy, aka you and I just catching up over here. And let's look back at our year. Like, now that I'm talking about it, maybe I need to go and compile my activities for the year and look at the highlights so that we can catch up properly. But I think all in all, the year has been amazing in terms of what I set up to achieve. To be honest, I didn't set up to achieve anything in particular. My simple promise was that, if you remember when we started, I said I had commitment issues. If you remember, I did say that. Like, the whole idea of a life required me to be present. And in my head, I was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to make that commitment. Not because I didn't want to be present, but simply because I thought if I said I would be and wasn't, then that will create inconsistency issues. But because you are so lovely and so human and so understanding, and you can actually perceive life and accept what life looks like sometimes, you were so supportive, and thanks to your support, we went from, I cannot even remember where we started. We are 300 people short of 10,000. That still blows my mind. What a year it's been, you know, through and through. The year presented some uncertainties. It's almost easy to forget. Once upon a time, way back in July, we didn't know we were going to still be here for Christmas, because I was presented with the shock house sale by my landlord, and it necessitated a move, but we couldn't transition quick enough. So we are still here, but the move and transition is still something that is developing behind the scenes. I have just made it a point not to kind of update until I am settled on, okay, this is happening. But otherwise, it's still the same. We are still in the transition process, and it's a lot. And yeah, it has been it has been quite a year with like curveballs. You will be surprised. Like, the channel exists about all things cakes, okay? I come here. This is a very happy space for me, okay? And it's a happy space, first of all, for me, because when I decided to create this channel, I knew I had nothing else to offer but just my skill. That's all. Anything else that has come outside of that has come with time, okay? But even if cake went away, I don't know how comfortable I will be by just, if I wasn't talking to you about cakes, I don't know how comfortable I will be talking about anything else. That is, even if I was talking about anything else, it would be on a generalized perspective rather than personal. Because, like, who wants to sit on the internet and shout about their problems sometimes? It's just an intentional thing that this is a very guarded, safe space for me, but also for you. Because for you, it is also a distraction and a place to look forward to. If we make it muddy and there's a place for us still sitting at the table and talking about things that are important and are very real in life. Like, this year has been a slightly difficult one for all of us in some very small ways, you know, from Tabitha and the job, and is it October taking a long walk off a short pier, Lollipop losing her is it granddad. Like, it's been a very long year with some losses and difficult moments, but that is life. Okay, we have spoken about some really, really, really difficult subjects here from my own. I don't think I've dug into my identity as an immigrant Black creator, because the layers of that conversation can be off-putting in some way, and there has to be balance, because the internet is a place nuance goes to die. Okay. And we've had those conversations where we have spoken so hardly, we have talked so openly about the difficult subject of the rather divisive subject of immigration. Like, and I brought you my very own personal experience of what immigration looks like, just to inform everyone who probably doesn't perceive the nuances of immigration matter. So the channel is about happiness, but it's also about truth and honesty in a very balanced and respectful way, you know? So coming to the end of the year, I am so incredibly grateful for you being here and for you being open-minded enough to hold space and to be kind, respectful, and just be human enough to know that the human experience is not just one linear experience. And just because we may be having two different experiences doesn't make us enemies. There is room for us to compromise or empathize with each other and coexist. And for that, I am so grateful for you being here. And that has been the highlights of my year. Even despite my own personal challenges and failings and hopes for things to get better and curveballs, the thing that has kept me going is recognizing that I am more blessed and privileged in ways that is not perceptively tangible. Does that make sense? Because when we're talking about blessings, we want to think about the tangible things like the house, like the cars, like the promotion, like the children behaving right, and all the things that you can see and touch, or the things you can show, right? And sometimes the intangible blessing is that you woke up and you have breath, and that's okay. You know, sometimes that's the intangible. It is very tangible, but we forget. Because I remember my very wise sister one day told me, what do you think the blind man thinks about all the time? If the blind man had a choice to ask for any favor in their life, what do you think that they wake up every day knowing that they are blind? And if they had anything to think about, it's all about how to manage being blind and getting through life. How consuming can that be? Existing in that darkness and not knowing what is around you. And yet we wake up with eyesight And we don't even perceive for a minute that that eyesight is an undeserved blessing. Now I'm going to drink my tea. Oh, I just saw a comment there by Dawn who said her family. Whew. Let me drink my tea. Dawn says, my husband and I have lost 16 family and close friends in the last 7 years. That's an average of 2 people a year in the last 7 years. A little over 2, because then if it's exactly 2 people a year, that would be 14. So you have an average of 2 people a year and some. Dawn, I'm sending you hugs, okay? Where is the slice of cake? Dawn, I have the cake, but I am checking my blood sugar levels so that I don't get cranky. So I actually ate a sweet potato salad. I had my lunch. I skipped breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person. I tried eating I went through phases where I was eating super healthy breakfast, but now I wake up and I don't feel hungry and I wait till lunch. So my lunch was a sweet potato salad with croutons. It's actually a tuna and sweet potato salad with croutons and spicy oil on it. And then I have to keep hydrated, and the cup of tea is just my treat. I'm not on a diet or anything, but for the amount of cake I scoffed on last week, it's just irresponsible to try cake this week again. That would just be wrong. Okay, so I'm like, nah, let's okay for a minute with the cake, you know. So Dawn, losing at least 2 relatives or close family members or friends, 2 people a year, that's 1 every 6 months. You barely have time to recover emotionally. And that, oh God, I cannot, my head hurts even thinking about it. Like, Dawn, I'm sending you hugs, my dear, and prayers your way. I cannot imagine. Because you know what? My sister lost her husband 2 years ago. And it was right in the middle of the year. And we are still yet to recover. Like, that's not the sort of loss anybody recovers from. Right? And the effect of the loss of such a close family member has life-changing, life-altering, and lifelong consequences. Like, I think about death all the time, okay? I do. I make cakes, which is why it's important to kind of keep my space happy. Because my life outside of cake is surrounded by very real stuff. And it's not just me. I'm just making a point to say there is a lot of pain in this world. And when you're surrounded by it, even if it's not your own, but you can empathize and recognize that people are going through it, it kind of shapes your perspective a little bit, you know, so that in your own days of trouble, you don't become a Jonah sitting under a tree somewhere complaining about the decisions that the Lord has to exercise grace over other people. Because sometimes it's so easy to be wrapped up in our own. And you know what? Being wrapped up in our own, like, troubles is not a bad thing. But I think the thing that has personally seen me through my own difficulties is just having the perspective in a moment. Like I could have I could have a tantrum for a minute, but the tantrum doesn't last me a week where I'm like, oh, I've had it hard. No, the tantrum is just a tantrum for the moment, because in that moment there has to be validation and acknowledgement. Validation for my own feelings, which is important, and then acknowledgement for the circumstance. Because just because other people have it hard doesn't invalidate your own experience. And the tension of both truths can exist on the same like spectrum. Okay, so yes, I can throw a tantrum to validate my own feelings and feel like woe is me for a minute, and also acknowledge that, you know what, mine feels worse for the minute. But the perspective here is to try and reframe what I'm feeling and think, how can I get through this? And how I can get through this is by also shifting my mindset and recognizing that what other people were dealing with, if I was dealing with that, I probably won't make it. So it is still okay here. And then you just go. Does that make sense? Dawn says, I love cereals from the box whilst watching TV. Okay. A detour from the heavy stuff. Cereal from the box. Favorite cereal? Go. Favorite cereal? Not cornflakes. I think cornflakes is overrated. Is it the Cookie Pops? Favorite cereal. But that stuff is addictive. Okay? Is it Choco Pops or Cookie Pops? I don't buy them. I don't buy them because I could literally eat a whole box. Okay, but it's not the rice puffs, but it's like they look like chocolate chip cookies, like small round things. I forget what they're called, but they are so addictive. No. But anyway, it would, let's see. This thing is annoying me. Yep, you are right. It's Cookie Crisps. Yep, Tabitha, you're right. You're right. They are the cookie. Oh, okay. Talking about cereal, milk over cereal. Okay, cereal first or milk first? Cereal in the bowl first or milk before the cereal? Lollipop likes honey nut shredded wheat. I think for texture issues, I don't like shredded wheat. I like Weetabix though. I like Weetabix. The Cookie Crisps are like the devil. Like they are the treats and the bane of my life. If I buy them. And what are these called? I forget what their names were. Okay. Evie says cereal first. Okay, so cereal first. Okay, here's the question for you cereal lovers. Okay, I do love a Weetabix too, anyway. And Weetabix apparently is good. So milk. Okay. Oh, Tabitha says milk in the bowl first. My God, who are you? Yo! Yeah. You know, sometimes people have ways of doing stuff. It's a bit like me and my tea. If you ever pour the water before you put my tea bag, like, who are you? Go away. I don't know you. Go away. Okay? So people have different things. So milk first or cereal first? Evie says cereal first. Who is with Evie? Show my hand. Cereal first. Let's see your hand. Tabitha. Tabitha, stop Stop creating a ruckus. Cereal first. Okay. Is everybody cereal first? Okay. Oh, okay. You are my people. Because you know what? Let me just fess up. I am just a bit weird like that. I tried the milk first and the cereal was floating and I was like, oh, this is just giving me like EBGBs. Like my skin felt some way and I cereal first. That's all. Okay. Cereal first. Okay. Now here's the controversial one. Warm milk or cold milk? I'm going to leave you to think about it. Warm milk or cold milk? Who is going first? Tabitha, what is wrong with you? I think Lollipop took the Switzerland rule. Remain peaceful where it serves you. She's like, depends, okay? So Lollipop, Evie, I was with you until you came for cold milk. I'm like, who are you? Go away. Let's chuck her out of the space. Yeah, warm milk any day. Me. Like I'm the person who goes to a hotel. Okay. I go to a hotel, right? And the hotel will have the milk like cold in the, and I will get my milk in a mug and give it to the service person to go warm it up for me. Okay. No. Lollipop, yeah, I like my Weetabix warm, but I'm even talking like your cornflakes and the cookie crisps and what, like cold milk. Like why? Early in the morning? No, honey. No. That's when Tabitha, that's how our sisterhood fell. It literally fell in the bin because now I know you are a cold milk drinker in the mornings. Why? Are you a cat? No. No. No, I don't care what cereal it is. It has to be cold milk. It has to be warm milk, by the way. I don't care. Like, yeah, Tabitha, I know. It's like someone set fire to your brain and you're like, oh, I can't. Yeah, I like warm milk. Now deal with that. I do. Okay, so Ajovi is milk first, but is it warm? Talk about someone just entering the chat and breaking the link. Ajovi is milk first. Is that supposed to be a Ghanaian thing? I'm not necessarily milk first. I'm cereal first. I just tried the milk first because my brain was like, can we try it the other way and see why we prefer it? And I have like the empirical evidence to say I prefer my bowl of cereal first instead of milk first. But I am a warm milk person. I don't care what cereal it is, from porridge to your Weetabix to your cornflakes and everything in between. I like warm milk. And here's another one. Milk in coffee first or last? Oh, I don't drink coffee a lot. I'm not a coffee drinker. So I am not religious about it. But from a habit point of view, it always has to be milk last, not coffee. But I tell you, what has milk first for me? Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, milk first. Now, you know what? Now we are revealing our habits. So I put the coffee last. So it's water, it's the milk with the warm water and coffee. Okay, milk last. Yeah. Milk has to be last in my coffee. But when I'm making a hot chocolate, it's milk first because I have to warm the milk before I add the chocolate and then stir it up and then go and warm it up. So it's always milk first. Oh, okay. If you put milk in first, it stops the coffee being scalded and people sit you here. Now here's drama. Here. You coffee drinkers. Dawn has just given you some details about the coffee. She says if you put the milk in first, it stops the coffee from being scalded and turning bitter. So try the milk first so that your coffee doesn't burn and then turn bitter. I didn't know that because I don't like coffee anyway. I'm like, that thing is too bitter. Lollipop says, maybe I like bitter. I only use 1/3 of a teaspoon of sugar in my coffee. And you hate your husband's sweet. Lollipop, leave the man alone. Leave the man alone. Let him drink his coffee. We all don't like the same things, do we? Right? Just even in this conversation, we found out we don't like the same. We do not even like the same way we eat cereal. Like, some of you like your cereal milk first. And you odd people like cold milk. Like, who wants to eat cold milk on a winter's day? Dawn doesn't do sweetener or sugar at all. So yeah, a bit like nothing in my tea. Weetabix, I have maple syrup, like maybe 2 tablespoonfuls of maple syrup to 2 whole Weetabix, and a whole apple sometimes, and maybe 2 to 3 full tablespoonfuls of chia seeds, which have been pre-hydrated already, and then a handful of nuts, like as in salted nuts, in my Weetabix. That's the healthiest way I like it, but I have stopped having that for a little while now because I struggle to keep consistency with my habits, even when they are healthy and helpful for me. I do. So yeah, but anyway, whilst we're talking cereals, warm milk, cold milk, talking losses, how has your year been? Like, if you're in the chat, there's 17 of us, okay? If you had to sum up your year in a word or two, would you say it's been good? Not so, as in average. And average, I'll define average here. Average being you've won some, you've lost some, and you're right in the middle of it. Or it's been a bad year. How do you define your year? Put it in the chat. It's 2nd of December. We are exactly 29 days, which is exactly a whole month to the end of the year. Okay? What would you say your year has been for you? I'll go first. My year has been pretty good. It has been good. So much highs, so much lows. But I think I achieved the thing I prayed for, which is contentment. And for that, I would say my year has been good. I can't tell you I bought my dream car or I have money in my account and my business has been successful. In fact, I have had incredible losses with the business. That is something it ties. I think the incredible losses in my business comes, it's tied closely with my personal life, which is something that is not available on the internet, if you like. But where appropriate, I will come and talk to you about it, you know. So I don't have the money in my account, okay? It is pretty dire over there. But all in all, when I accumulate my entire year of experiences, it's been ever so good, and for that I'm grateful. Lollipop says, my year has been all right. So it's been all right, okay. Overall, it was, if I was to think about it, I'm doing the best chugging along. That's a good thing. So Lollipop, thanks for sharing that. So there's 10 of us in the chat. How would you sum up your year? Good, bad, all right. As in good, bad, all right being average. Where are you? I said my year has been good. Lollipop's year is chugging along just fine when she thinks about it. Tapita, what's the year been? It's been 12 months, an average of at least 28 to 30 days in each. What's your year been like? Dawn, we are here. Oh, Dawn says it's been shite. Can we say that out loud? Dawn, I'm not laughing at your year and your experience. It's the word that's like, did I just say that? Oh my God. Right. What has been, that is one very obvious way to sum up your year. If you don't mind sharing, what is the one specific, sometimes a shite year is an accumulation of everything else. Like, it's not getting better. You're losing people left and right. Health is not at its peak. And then the kids are not behaving, or they're like, a shite year means a lot has gone in. But if you stop and think about it, what is the one specific experience that turned it like from this was bad, but actually this is all gone down the drain at this point? What was the one experience that did that for you, if you don't mind sharing? Ajovi says it's cold. Ajovi, is that a cold year? I said, is it a good year, a bad year, an all right year? There was no option of cold. Or is it the weather that's cold for you? Tapita says, it's been a year. It wasn't like, oh my God, end it all, but it wasn't like rainbows and back. So it's been all right. So you know what? Sometimes the best you can do is to look back and think, you know what? It's not the best because there is still room for improvement, but it's okay here, right? So at least that's a good thing for Tapita and Lollipop, okay? Like I said, mine hasn't, I would say I am like both of you, but the reason why I didn't choose all right or the middle ground is because there has been some real significant changes in ways that I would never have anticipated. And are they difficult? Yes. But do I see an outcome for better in the future? Yes. So ultimately, that's a good year for me, right? So we've survived 100% of our bad days so far, and we can't tarnish that record. You know what? That is one way to put it. Now, let's hold some space for our dear Dawn, who's had a complete shite of a year. Let's send her some love and some hugs for, you know what? I don't normally kind of like preempt the next year and go, this is going to be my year, because we don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring. We don't. But we hope, we really hope it is better, okay? Dawn says, I'm dealing with my, okay, right. Whew. People, let's take a seat and hold this space quietly for Dawn. So I'm going to read the message here, okay? I'm dealing with my husband's brother. I take it it's the husband's brother's grief instead of your husband, right? Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. So husband's brother was sent home from hospital with a urine infection. but he was misdiagnosed and he was found in his flat 2 days later. Okay, I've got a few questions because I think so Dawn, is it your husband's brother who passed, and so you're having to support your husband in his grief, or your husband has passed and you're grieving? I just want to be clear because I can see his brother here. Okay, so got it. So that your husband's brother was sent home with a misdiagnosis, and then he passed suddenly as a result of the misdiagnosis in a flat, horrifying circumstances. And then your husband had a heart attack a few months ago. Okay, I can see why that's a very difficult. Yeah, I can. How is he holding up now? Is he okay? And by asking, is he okay, it doesn't mean he's out of the woods, but it's a question of hopefully there is hope for recovery and there is no decline, like consistent decline. Where are we at? Okay, he's back to work on light duties. Oh, okay. I think if I remember right, you shared this, but not in this exact detail. He was fit and okay, and then he has a heart attack, and that shifts your world. I remember you sharing that in a previous live when we were talking about loss and life-changing circumstances. Am I correct? So I remember you saying your husband had a heart attack and he's the fittest person you know, and yet this happens. And that kind of shifted your perspective and your experience a bit. Okay, so thank you for sharing that detail with us. Oh, he's back to work on light duties. God, we thank you for your grace and healing power. Whew, I just wanted this to be so good for you, as in it should end well. And I am pleased for you that your husband is on light duties, which means he has made a recovery. And for that, we are happy for you, Dawn. But I cannot imagine how difficult the other circumstances. And I guess these are like the two most prominent things that stand out in the year, if you like. But nonetheless, at 63, you have seen a lot of like real lows of life, and especially with the experience of losing up to 7 people in 16 people in the last 7 years. I cannot imagine the toll that must have taken on you and your entire family. Okay, so Dawn, we are sending you hugs and sincere prayers. In moments like this is what I'll say before I leave for today. In moments of such difficult pain and grief, there is no words to say that will make anything better. There is nothing to say. I cannot say, even if I said to you, I hope it gets well. That is just hope, but you're still living the experience. And silence doesn't do anything besides just being respectful and holding the space for the feelings to simmer. Do you know what I mean? But here is where, in my little limited wisdom, this is what I have come to acknowledge for myself. And I can share that with you if you don't mind. That as a Christian, these are not the times where we say, oh, God knows, and I give you a Holy Bible quotation to say how the Lord, like you have questions for the Lord at this point. Like, how did a man go to hospital? And these experts who are supposed to know better, who are so well equipped to understand things and to pick up stuff, right? End up missing something so much that a man's life is over. Okay, plus all the things that comes with that sort of loss and that particular circumstance. At that moment, you will even be right in actually going to question the existence of this God we talk about all the time. And it's a very valid question to ask, you know, and to hold tension and to debate that subject matter. But here's what, in my limited wisdom and limited, very immature capacity of a Christian, I will say to anyone who is going through grief and pain, it is not that I want to tell you that, oh, the Lord desires that for you and destiny has got. No, it is that our life as an experience is filled with so much pain. To live is to suffer. If you're not suffering for one thing or another, I don't know anybody who's had a perfect life, right? And so in these moments, especially in moments of pain, uncertainty, grief, strife, and life's changing storms and difficulties, that is the only time that I realize that having faith is the only thing that keeps you sane. And having faith doesn't necessarily mean that God has caused those things to happen. Having faith means that because you can go through such difficult experiences, right? You can go through such experiences and have the best support and have all the money in the world, and you will still feel so pained. So those are the moments that I think, as a Christian, going to bed alone in the quiet of the night and making room to kind of acknowledge that quietness and the hollow pain, you kind of feel a bit seen and sane, okay? And I say that from the experience of when my sister's husband passed away suddenly. This was a young 42-year-old guy. There was no indication. We didn't wake up like, oh, he had a headache and, oh, he's sick. No. Think about it. On a regular Thursday, he goes about his life, and on Monday, he was dead. Okay? On Thursday, he woke up, went about his life. By Thursday, 1 a.m., which is Thursday, the dawn of 1 a.m., he's rushed into hospital with a suspected brain bleed. And on Monday, he's gone. Okay? So the dawn of Friday when he's rushed into hospital, he's intubated and on life support. So essentially, looking back at it, he was gone before he was actually gone, if you know what I mean. And so a man goes about his life on Thursday, okay, and by the dawn of the next day, he's gone. This is a fit 42-year-old guy who has everything going for him. And at this point, what do you say? There are 3 children without a father, 3 young children, one with special needs. What do you say? You know? But even in that experience, 2 years later, the conversation my sister and I still have till today is, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing we're still Christians, because then we can still be hopeful for a day when this will make sense. Do you see what I'm saying? So I say that in my very limited capacity as a Christian to say, if you're not a Christian, this doesn't relate to you, but it also doesn't take away your pain. And I hope whatever you are doing to keep yourself on the journey of just grieving and still finding sanity to enjoy this life's experience, I hope you keep doing that and you feel better. But if you're a Christian, these are the moments where you're like, God, I have questions for you. And even if you don't answer, I will trust that there is something I don't know yet. That's all. That said, people, Dawn, I'm sending you my heartfelt hugs, praying this will all get better one way or another. And I'll see you on the next one. Tapita, Lollipop, Ajovi, the rest of you. We'll be back tomorrow doing something a little more exciting. But today, it's been therapy time. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Bye.